Now, boy, I know you're gonna put me in this here video. You talking about the best, you must be talking about yours truly.
Man, how am I gonna put you in this video? I just learned how to use it. It's called the best of 2022, not the best of last month.
Boy, I beat your ass. You must have lost your ever-loving mind. I'll tell you like I told your mama, just 'cause you suck don't mean everybody else do. Now put your pride aside and put me where I belong.
Alright, man, I'll see what I can do. I'll try to slide you in there somewhere, but...
Now that's more like it. Now go get me something to eat, you little potty bitch.
Alright, man, here we go. Without further ado, these are the baits, man, when time gets tough, when I'm trying stuff and nothing else is working. These are the ones that I go to that always come through. And everybody has their own, everybody has their ones to trust. Probably a little bit more lures on this one because I really wanted to cover the ones that I just hit. I mean, you can tell by the state of these lures, like they've been used a lot. So let's just jump right into it, man. Just start on the other one. You know where we started off on that. But if it's coming to Swimbaits, and you know, if I'm getting in there and I'm really trying to get a realistic presentation, you should have seen it from the last video. The Mega Bass dark gill, sleeper gill, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, man, this thing is beautiful. It rides true. It's got the hook keeper right there, so you can pull it through different grass. You can pull it through different things. Man, I throw this sucker in there and it just gets smashed. And it's weighted on the front, so it dives. You can hop that sucker across the bottom. It is a really versatile bait, man. I've had super good luck with this one, man. It's just, I trust it wherever I throw it. Now, man, I'm kind of nervous because they are about 10, 12 bucks. So if there's a lot of cover, I'm like, I don't know if I want to lose that one because they're kind of hard to get a hold of sometimes. But man, there it is. So jumping right back into it, Topwater. So, you know, last time I said my worst one was the Jackal. Not because it was bad, it was just the hookups on it for me were horrible. But my go-to, I've had so much luck, is the one I trust the most. If I'm frog fishing, if I'm throwing out there, some people might say, you know, everybody has the colors they love, but mine, you can check for the state of this sucker, he's been through hell, is the 6th Sense Vega frog in that black magic. It's like a black and blue frog. I call it a hybrid frog because you can see it's got that popping front on it, you know, there, but it's not enough where it catches a lot. You can pull it through cover. The hookup on it is really good. It's got a soft body. I kind of trimmed the tails on it to help with walking, but man, this thing is my favorite frog of all time. I've thrown it everywhere and it always comes through. Now, if there's a runner-up, which one is, you know, kind of right there with him, and I use it, it's going to be the river to sea spitting frog. This thing's called a what's called a spitting frog, and it's got a real soft body too. The hooks kind of sit right up on top. It's a smaller presentation. If you see it next to the Vega frog, you see there, it's about half the size, but the front on it, man, has got a really good cup, and it acts kind of like a hula popper, man, and I can get a really good pop. So if I'm really trying to hit like a popper action and really trying to get like a reaction bite, man, that works really good, especially in those ponds where, you know, where I go. If you've seen some of my Topwater, there's a lot of dragonflies come around, so that black and blue really kind of helps, you know, pull them in and get them to strike. But man, that's my second. If I can't get it with this one, I throw him in there as the backup, and he seems to come through. So staying with Topwater, I know a lot of people, you know, the Whopper Plopper is huge. You got different sizes. And man, you can catch some of the biggest fish on there. It's a really good reaction bite. This might piss some people off, but when I'm going to, the one I'm the most confident with is going to be the Berkeley 90 size Sexy Shad Chapo. It doesn't ride it straight. It will kind of wobble a little bit. Man, them hooks are sharp. It will kind of wobble sometimes, but majority of the time, because of the way the tail is a little bit stiffer, I get a more aggressive pop, and it sits there. It seems like I can get a better bite. I get more bites with it. I think some people say it doesn't start up as quick. I think it starts up just as quick, but it seems like with that aggressive plop, I get more bites, more strikes. Now, I have noticed going down to the River to Sea 75 series, Whopper Plopper. It's a smaller body, about a little bit shorter than this. And you do get that same aggressive plop like you do with the Chapo. Now, it seems like when I go to the 90 series Whopper Plopper, I don't get as aggressive as a plop without having to really get into it. But man, this the Chapo has become that, especially that 90 series, and that one right there, that Sexy Shad, has just been kind of one where if I'm really trying to get that top water and get that plopping going across through there, this is the one that seems like when nothing else working and I'm sitting back and I'm about to give it up for the day, I'll pull this out, and it always seems to, you know, pull one, especially when I'm out in the Missouri area on some of those ponds with the heavy lily pads and heavy grass. I'll throw this across those openings and wham, I've caught some big fish. All right, let's keep on moving. Now, last time we said the big blade was one I really didn't have that much confidence with. So, if I'm going for a chatterbait, a lot of times if I'm just going for something like a power bait where I'm sitting there and I'm power fishing and they're getting on reaction strikes, this one, out of all the Thunder Crickets and the different Z-Man style chatterbaits and the jackhammers, this is the one I have the most luck. I mean, no matter what, it always seems to come through. And that is going to be the 3/8 ounce spot remover with a bluegill spunk shad trailer. And you see that, if you can get a good look, it's got that nice bluegill, almost like that magic color that you see on other things like the robo worms and some of the KVD stuff. They'll call it a magic, and it's got that nice with the brown, with the blue, with a little bit of green transparency in there. That tied up with the spot remover jackhammer. This thing is just, I've caught ones where, man, on some of the high pressured areas where I'm never catching anything, I'll throw this sucker out there and slow pull it through there and let it sink, and wham, I've caught so many fish on this. Now, if this stops, my second backup, I'm trying to give a backups because, this is my go-to, but if this isn't working, this always does. Same one, 3/8 ounce spot remover jackhammer, but with the Big Bites Kamikaze Swimmer. These are kind of hard to find, and you'll see there, but man, these trailers, there's not a whole lot to them, but that, especially in that pearl white, I'll put that right behind that spot remover jackhammer. Woo boy, I'll get some bites, especially if you go through there and get some of that KVD fish stick that comes in the garlic crawfish, but they also have one in a shad. Put that shad stink in there in those grooves, and man, that thing, I will tear them up. I'll just kind of go back and forth, and I'll start with this one if they're not really hitting that one, because it's more of like if they're chasing like bluegill or something like that, then I'll go for this one for like a shad presentation, and it is just lights out. These two, you can see them suckers is just gonna beat the hell. But they, yeah, man, these are my go-to. Never fails. I'll try other things, other colors, and green pumpkins and black and blues and reds and all kind of different stuff, man. And yeah, and this is what it looks like if you're looking for that Big Bites trailer. Here's the one, and I think it's called like a flamethrower. They come in that Big Bites Kamikaze Swimmer. Great, man. If you can get them, they're kind of hard to find in stores, but you can order them offline. Great stuff. And then, of course, the spunk shins. I think you'd get those from Tackle Warehouse. But that bluegill color is hands down. I've got probably 6 other different colors. That one right there always comes through. Okay. Staying with the swim bait. So now if I'm going to bait fish, they're chasing bait fish, and you've seen me use this. It's probably not a surprise. But the blade bait, but not just any blade bait, that Carton Cornell black and chrome. That black and chrome, you can find these a lot of different places, and they're about, for that 3/8 ounce, they're probably like $3.50, man. And I've had to switch out hooks on them. I've just used this. I mean, if you can look at that thing, it has been beat. I've got some of these eyeballs are falling off of it. And this, man, if I see they're chasing bass fish or they're kind of just being real finicky, I'll throw that sucker across there. And I mean, you see my videos. I've put this up against some of the heavy hitter blade baits and other stuff on the market, and this sucker will just run shop. It is awesome. And another one I've talked about, man, and again, is a backup. We're going to go for a backup. That's our thing here. This is my main, and if something's not right and I want to kind of go, this is the one I was talking about last video. This is one you can get at Academy. It's like the H2O series, and this thing right here, man, I usually get it in a 3/8 ounce, and that's their H2O tailspin. You can see there, it's got that nice little, I think it's like the Colorado blade on the back. These things are $2.50, and I usually use this one. I think I lost my last one, which is also a black and chrome, where you got the kind of the chrome here with the black on the back. That's usually the one I used, but I lost all of them. I used them so dang much. But these things are awesome, especially when I go through those times in the fall and everything where they're chasing those bait fish. I'll throw this sucker out there and just slay them. So I just kind of bounce back and forth between these two, and anytime I see that bait fish going down, they come through in the clutch just constantly. So there we go, man. We've got Topwater, we've got our power fishing with our chatterbaits, we've got our bait fish. So now you always got to go to. You guys got to go to any fisherman when times get tough. What do you go to? Your plastics. And my go-to, man, that has worked so much that I have kind of homed it in. I've tried it in clear water, dark water. I've tried it lakes. It's everywhere, man. I've thrown this thing. And every time I'll have people fishing other things, and they'll be saying, oh man, you got to try this ribbon tail, you got to try all this different stuff. And I'll throw this out there, and I just eat their lunch, man. And it's right there. And it's not a surprise. It's the wacky rig. But not just any wacky rig, man. It's the Gary Yamamoto, and it's a June bug color, but I think they call it like a purple with teal flake or something like that. You can see that, and I'll wacky rig that with a 6 cents wacky rig hook with the little guard in there, your little keeper. And man, this O-ring, and I go through some of this, man. Anytime I go through a store and I see these purple until I just grab all they have, because I go through these. You get about, you know, it is bad because they are soft. Anybody knows the Gary Yamamoto, they're about you go with about 2 or 3 fish, and then it's toast. And I'm still struggling, just throwing it out there, trying to save it and rehook it, save it, rehook it, trying to just get one more bite out of it, and then it falls apart, and you're like, no, I only got 3 left. But yeah, man, that purple and teal June bug color, like I said, some people say, oh, that's only for dark water. I've thrown it in super clear water. I've thrown it in dark water. I've thrown it in just everything. And man, if I'm just like, man, I can't get a bite, I got to get a fish, there she is. Now, as a backup, if this isn't working, and I'm still going to the worm, I've made a little short on this before, but the KVD Magic Bullworm. Again, there's that magic color. You can see that sucker's been beat to hell. But man, these bullworms, if you look at the bottom, the whole bottom is convexed. It's cupped. And then you get that big bulbous tail on there, which is also cupped. And what I'll do, I don't just Texas rig it. I'll get either an owner, or this one I think is like a VMC or something like that, but I'll get a weighted screw lock hook like that, and I'll get that sucker, I'll line it up, and then throw that sucker out there. And what it'll do, man, if you haven't ever used these, you see that sucker's just barely hanging on for dear life, but you throw it and the thing will go down, and this tail will just wag and wag and wag on down there, and you'll pop it up and it'll just wag on down. I've caught so many fish on this thing. Look at it. You can tell I had to readjust. That sucker's broken in half. I just slay them with these things, man. And you could get them at different places like Cabela's, but man, yeah, that KVD Bullworm, and especially that magic color. I've got black and blue. I've got it's like something bluegill. I've got all kind of different colors, and they just, man, the magic for me in that bullworm is just clutch. I've caught so many, especially in pressure lakes where it just seems like you can catch anything. I'll throw that up around some brush and let it swim on through there, and man, I'll just tear them up. And man, but that's mine. One more I want to mention. It kind of got brought onto me new this year. I know the company's kind of going on business. I think the guy that owns it may have died. But man, I got turned on to these from a local bait shop. But if you never use them, it's that Lake Fork ringworm. Man, you get these suckers, and I usually use like these, but especially the watermelon red flake. Texas rig those, and they come scented already. And man, they hold the scent, and them things are potent. And it was like a local sheriff guy turned it on to me too. And these things, man, if you can find them, because like I said, I think they're going out of business. These things will do damage. And those who know, they know. These are great also. Now, I do these, but again, these two here, clutch. This one is pretty dang close. And again, it is so highly scented, you want to keep it in its sealed bag, because woo boy, they'll put off a stink. But man, there it is, man. I hope y'all, you know, some people are going to agree, some people are going to disagree, but those all, from Topwater to Chatters to Swimbaits to my worms to my bait fish, hard baits, man, these are the ones where when nothing else is working, these are the ones I go to, and it's no matter where I'm at, they just seem to come through for me. It's the ones I trust the most. I keep them close inside the tackle box, and yeah, I just burn through them. But man, hey man, I hope you enjoyed that. Everybody, don't be mad at me. Everybody has the ones, but these are mine, man. All right, thanks for watching. Till next time.
You lied to me, you son of a bitch!